In a world where there ain't nothing to laugh about, they're two special idiots now. Hear me out. Chuck's laugh is frightening, Brad's anus is tightening. Brad's got a lot of thoughts to give. Chuck's toxically positive. They're here to laugh and joke with a few little jabs and pokes. Escape from your terrible life. You're a loser and an asshole and you're filled with strife. Funbearable. They're just trying to make you smile. Funbearable. Even though you're pathetic and you're ugly and vile, they're just trying to bring some joy to your day. Even though your family wishes you would go away. Funbearable. Funbearable. They're terrible. They're fucking terrible.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Funbearable, a very special episode. I'm Brad Rohr,
And I'm Chuck, the special kid, staying.
and we are joined by...
Is that?
I think of you as a special kid.
All right, cool.
Yeah. We're joined today by Rhode Island media mogul,
Yep.
Casanova of the Seven Seas,
Casanova the Seven Seas.
Chris Revill.
Woo! Give it up for Christopher Revill.
Thank you,
Is
thank
your full
you.
name Christopher or is it just Chris?
Just Chris.
Really? What's
Yeah.
the middle name?
Joseph.
Christopher.
Ooh, CJ Revill.
Yeah,
CJ.
yeah.
Oh, you were going by CJ?
No, I had
Well-
older brothers. My whole life I was just called Revel or Little Revel. It wasn't until I came to Rhode Island when people started calling me Chris.
Wow, CJ. That's cool.
Could have worked.
Siege.
I tried when I was younger. But it never
Siege.
happened.
Oh, the Siege.
Yeah.
Siege.
That's
The
fun.
S-I-E-G-E.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
CJ
You're like, what?
Siege. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure I spelled that wrong.
So how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Super stoked. Long time, first time. Been listening for a while.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Chris Revill has been part of our lives for quite a while.
Yes.
It's funny because so give the audience a little bit of an idea of what you do now, and then we'll work backwards.
Sure. So my day job, I'm a sales representative for Hey Rhody Media, most around here known like Providence Monthly, which I know, Chuck, you've been a contributor to over the years prior to my time.
for people who aren't in Rhode Island, it's basically like it's part of the what would you call it?
It's
like
a lifestyle magazine.
Yeah, the collective. I used to write for Providence Monthly, mostly about the food scene, and they would also run the Bay magazine.
The Bay.
They would run So Rhody, which was Southern Rhode Island, and Hey Rhody.
That's
in
right.
general.
Yeah.
So now Hey Rhody has a little bit more of a current like media division, which has to do with podcasting.
Yeah, that's right. So they were, I guess, they've been around since 1975. They
Wow.
were technically a publishing company, but within the last couple of years did a rebrand, and now we're officially a media company, which none of that matters to anyone. But
No, it does.
But within that, that's my job there. But I also a sales rep is like my job, and then I co-host. I host. Damn it, I host the Hey Rhody podcast, and I produce that. And then I guess I don't know what the right term is, but I pop up in a lot of the digital and a lot of our stuff within that.
Yeah.
And then over the years, it's kind of morphed into a media personality because I've learned that's the old man's version of an influencer.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good.
really?
Yeah.
I'm not an
media personality.
influencer because I'm not. But
Yeah, you'd influence people
I-
to.
do bad things. I just pop up in a lot of
Yeah.
people's people you may know on Facebook and a lot of various Hey Rhody and non-Hey Rhody media stuff between the podcast and TV and radio and all that fun world.
Yeah, I've been on, we've been floating around the Rhode Island podcast scene. Obviously, a lot of people who aren't from Rhode Island wouldn't know that. They'd know us more from like Tell 'em Steve Dave and Tuesdays with Stories. But,
And one very special episode of Cops.
yeah, that's where I got the nickname Special Kid.
Yes.
Because I had to lie
Yep.
when they came. You want to see my impression I did? But, no, so,
I hope Craig just puts a cut there.
yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, it just cuts to me again.
Yep.
It wasn't that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So, but around here in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, when we used to do the Chuck and Brad podcast, I did a ton of guest spots on New England-based podcasts like Rhode Island and Connecticut, Massachusetts, like I was saying. So I have a million, and you have a bunch too, appearances on other podcasts around here. Hey Rhody was one of them.
And it's, now that Revel's involved in the podcast scene even more, we thought it'd be fun to have him on and talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because, we are from Rhode Island. All the art stuff that we have done and a lot of stuff we continue to do is based here. Providence is known as the creative capital. There's a lot of creative people here. So I think having people on from this place where our roots are, where we continue to work, is a real fun and appropriate thing for Funbearable.
Agreed.
But yeah, Revel, we've been floating around each other's lives for a very long time.
It's almost 10 years.
Yeah, it has been.
Maybe
more because
2016, I want to say, because that's when I remember reading, because we all had gotten included in anyone who doesn't know the backstory of these guys, you guys are like the OG, pretty much the OG in the podcast space around here.
I think so. Probably we started.
It's OGRES. That's what we are in the podcast.
Now that's Brad Rourke.
I get to do a spelling joke. Yay!
You guys were doing it. I don't know, but like around it was 2016. It was after Crime Town had come out. Orrin Hannity wrote an article for Rhode Island Monthly called like 5 podcasts that aren't Crime Town. And at that point, in my old podcast, Last Chat with Chris Revill.
Yes, that's right.
I had gotten, I don't know about you guys, but I got national attention before I ever got anything local.
Well, what my favorite thing, and I'll say this, and Revill, if you want us to cut it out. So Chuck and Brad podcast started in 2009 in January. And eventually we met Revill, and we were talking about getting guests and bigger guests. And I go, man, we have to, they always ask for numbers. I feel bad because our numbers aren't astronomical. And Rebel's like, just tell them 1 million. Oh, yeah. I just tell them 1 million. Just tell them 1 million. You have 1 million people listening. That's what I do. That's how I get everybody on my podcast. I just tell them 1 million. And I was like, what? Like, how do you do that? At the time, there was no YouTube, but podcasting on YouTube wasn't really a thing.
Right. No.
So checking the numbers of the audio podcasts were kind of impossible and remain impossible.
People had to take your. I mean, now I very rarely have I ever had anyone actually ask for a follow up of, because I'll gladly go in my feed and give you my stats. I'm like, I'll show you my analytics.
Yeah.
No, once or twice, and that's only been for like press pass stuff. Has anyone ever asked?
Yeah, and they don't. There's still just not a public way to go check.
I'll also say along those lines, a humorous anecdote, perhaps we've related before. We were trying to get a national touring band as a guest, and Chuck was in communication with their manager.
It was the Interrupters. I'll just say I love the Interrupters.
Yeah.
Brad loves the Interrupters.
Yes.
They're a great band because they didn't do anything bad. It was me that did something bad.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, no, it's he's emailing with the manager, and the manager says, "What are your numbers?" Now Chuck knows that this manager's asking for our analytics. And instead, he's like, well, we're not going to get them if we give them our analytics. So when somebody says, hey, what are your numbers? Chuck's like, it's 401-555.
I gave him our
phone numbers. You wouldn't believe it. We did not book the Interrupters.
That's wild. I love that.
I was like, I'm the special kid. Maybe they'll give me the benefit of the doubt.
They did not.
This guy's not trying to trick us. Yep. He's not being disingenuous about this whole thing.
That's wild.
Oh, it was really funny.
I can't believe you remember that. I believe I said that, and I'm so glad that you remember that because I forgot all about that.
Yeah, of course.
But it's funny. Our crossover stuff kind of starts way before that because we both come from the music world.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was in the punk band Senior Discount for about 15 years. And by the way, Senior Discount isn't completely dead. To be honest, we got asked by a venue about 3 years ago to go open for Sublime in Connecticut, I believe. Connecticut, New York, somewhere on the East Coast. And we were like, let's do it. This will be fun. I made all these plans to come back and practice from New York because I had already moved to New York at that point in time. And about maybe 2 weeks before the show, we weren't practicing yet. I think it was like they only asked us 3 weeks. The venue wrote us and they're like, oh, Bad Fish is bringing their own direct support. And I went, what do you mean? And they're like, they're bringing their own direct support. I'm like, but you asked us to play the show. And they're like, yeah, we didn't ask Bad Fish about it. And I was like, are you insane?
That's very weird.
What do you mean by that? Like, you just decided as a venue? And they're like, yeah, we wanted to move some more tickets. We thought you guys could move tickets. And I was like, please don't ask us to play shows unless you know we can play them.
Right.
It was insane. All that to say, Discount isn't dead. I'm sure we'll play again at some point in time. It's just... now I live in New York. We all have a lot of responsibilities. Yep. I'd love to play a show here and there. If Bad Larry does their 12th reunion show, if they do that, maybe we'll be on that.
Yeah, there you go.
Paul Giammarco, hit me up, buddy. I know that all the national fans don't know who these people are, but
That's all right.
Bad Larry is a wonderful band from Providence or from Cranston, and they're kind of the sister band to Senior Discount. Senior Discount was mostly a punk band, and Bad Larry is mostly a ska band
Right.
with some punk stuff in it. And we love them. We played a million shows with them. I love those guys. Their music is excellent. Look them up, Bad Larry. That's my plug. Anyway,
I love them.
So we've been doing Senior Discount since about 2003, 2004, and you were also kind of part of a music scene as well in New England. So tell us about that.
I grew up in Connecticut, so I
Right.
grew up in the Connecticut scene.
Okay.
So like, let's see, what eras would I be like? Early 2000s, so mid 2000s.
Yes.
Which is really funny because there wasn't as much Rhode Island, Connecticut crossover with our music scenes.
Right.
Largely for us at least, because I'm from Meriden, like the Dead Center. So basically any band that became the biggest band in the world was from New Jersey or Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their first string of out of state shows was Connecticut, so I got to grow up seeing all those. I just found this out recently. I didn't know it at the time. I just saw like an old flyer, but I was at My Chemical Romance's. It's like their second or third show.
Wow.
I didn't know it at the time. It was like
Yeah. Right.
it was one of those Instagram like New Jersey pop punk archives Instagram
Yes.
sites. I was like, holy shit! Like I've seen my chem. Like I wish I could find him, but I used to see. Oh my god! I can't tell you how many times I had hung out with Jack Antonoff back in the day when he was in
Wow.
Steel Train.
Wow.
Which
Wow.
they were not good. Nobody liked Steel Train. Jack didn't like Steel Train, but I get to grow up. And Connecticut had a really good hardcore and ska scene.
Right.
That's
Well, we ended
real
up
good.
playing in Connecticut a bunch.
Where'd
There
you
was-
guys come, like New London at all? Did you ever do any of the Manic production shows?
Yes, without a doubt.
I think I've seen you guys play probably around like New Haven, Wallingford, that area.
Oh, for sure.
That would have been our spot. But we used to also, the place we used to go around here was All About Records in Taunton, Mass.
Yeah, I
Did you guys
remember
ever
All
go-
About Records. We had a fight with them. We had a big fight with them.
Was it Russ?
Yeah, we had a big fight with that guy. It's so funny because I don't Senior Discount, our band, we were so ready to fight. But also, like, a lot of people in the music scene, and I don't remember the fight with Russ at All About Records, so I'm not saying that's what happened with him. A lot of people in the music scene are kind of dicks, or like, it seems like they don't know etiquette for like doing shows.
Anti-personality.
Like the idea, the idea that a venue tried to book us without talking to the band is really shitty. And then there was the Rhino Bar in Newport who booked us, and then getting closer to the show, like a week beforehand, they're like, "Hey, you're a cover band, right?" And we were like, "No, we're not." And they're like, "Well, can you guarantee like 400 people will be here?" And I'm like, "No, we're not going to guarantee. We didn't guarantee anything." And they're like, "Oh, then we don't want you to play." And we're like, we've been promoting the show. We've been playing, getting ready for it. Like, and we were doing this big thing where it was a crossover of Brad's improv group and our show, and the tickets were combined, something like that. And I was like, "No," I said, "We're coming to play. I don't give a fuck." I'm like, "You booked us. We have this agreement. We're coming." And they're like, "You're not coming." And I'm like, "We are coming." And they're like, "We'll pay you the same amount not to come." And I said, "Fine." And I went there, and they wrote me a check for $400.
That's
Not
amazing.
to play.
Yeah. Well, club promoters are known for that.
It's crazy. And then
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't remember the fight with All About Records because this was like when I'm like in my mid 20s. It's very possible that I was in the wrong, but we had a lot of fights. I used to have a phone. On my computer, I had a Senior Discount folder.
Yes.
And it had our lyrics. It had tabs for all our songs. It had all the originals. It had like, mixes, like instrumentals, all these different things. Everything that had to do with the band. And one folder was called Feuds. And it had all of our fights with other bands.
Yeah, you had to get an
promoters.
extra hard drive just for that folder.
I love that. Did it get violent in Rhode Island? Because in Connecticut, like the hardcore scene got to the point. So this is largely like DIY halls, like Knights of Columbuses, that kind of
yeah.
stuff, not really venues.
Yeah.
And like, so Hatebreed was from our area, like was from the Wallingford area. So they were like, every so often they would do like a secret show or something like that. But
Yes.
it got to the point where you couldn't book shows in Connecticut because every single time it turned into a physical, there'd be a fist fight. The hospital come, the police would shut it down. People's equipment would get broken. Like it got to the point where it actually stopped being fun. It's like, I just want to see like Stretch Armstrong play with Hatebreed at Knights of Columbus and not have a fucking riot.
We had a lot of arguments, but there was never anything physical. I remember. I mean, we've gotten into fights, physical fights with bands alongside us.
Yeah.
Like as like a team. Bad Larry.
Yeah.
We had a big. Okay. We haven't talked about the VBW house, have we? And the
I don't think
Funbearable.
so. No.
The what house?
So basically, when we were young, me, my buddy Lou Perella, Christian State, and my cousin Jordan Furtado, one of my close friends, we live together still in Rhode Island. He stays in my house when I'm here. I mean, he stays in my house all the time, and I come stay when I'm here. A bunch of us used to do backyard wrestling, and this is like when we were 14, 15. and we called it the VBW.
Wow.
Right? So we did that for a while. And it was honestly, it was not the backyard wrestling you think of. It was more like we were kind of doing a meta make fun of backyard wrestling thing while we did it because we loved it.
Right.
But it was a lot of comedy. For example, one time me and Jordan were wrestling and I took out a bag of Doritos and I dumped it on the ground and then I body slammed him on the Doritos and he goes, "You bastard, those were extra spicy." It's like stuff like that. It's like, it was,
Yeah.
it was
I mean,
cute.
the start of the match, they like knucksed up.
Yeah.
And then was like, ah!
There's all blood on our knuckles
It
from
was-
doing that.
You guys are like really Jackass inspired. It sounds. as
Yeah,
if.
yeah. This was like comedy wrestling at the time. We did do a lot of Jackass shit, by the way. But anyway, we were the VBW. And after the wrestling, that kind of continued for our friend group. And there was a lot of other people involved, like Rob Luther, Brian Camara.
Rob Luther, the axe murderer from a previous
Yes,
episode of
yes,
Funbearable.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were saying his name on the show, but Brad makes decisions without me. And
Craig can cut it.
yeah, sure. No, it's okay, Craig. Rob's proud. He was doing it in response to someone killing a dog.
Right.
He hit someone in the neck with an axe.
Like stab him.
Yeah.
Oh, is he actually in jail and shit?
No, he's okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, we would call ourselves a VBW. Revel's still freaking
That's kind
out.
of weird. That's wild.
Yeah, he's coming in today, so you got to be
Yeah,
watch your mouth.
best
I used
behavior.
to work at Butler Hospital. Nothing scares me.
Yeah, right.
He might have seen me if he went through there. I would have saw him.
Man, so we were with the VBW. That was the group that surrounded the band because Senior Discount was the band. We were playing punk rock shows, and we would make these comedy videos with the guys that were friends with the VBW. And in 2004 or 5, we got a house in Warren that we called VBW House. And it was for the guys. And I was there all the time because I lived close by. And we would just have these massive parties, like massive, massive parties. And you've been to my house recently. It was about the same size as that.
Yeah.
And we'd have like 300 people in the house in the backyard.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. But one time we were all partying outside, and by partying I mean just like hanging out and talking. It was just fun. It was pretty low key. Obviously people were drinking and smoking, but like it was just pretty low key. These 4 guys came by. They were walking by and they saw it and they started like taunting us. And a bunch of our friends from Bad Larry were there. Senior Discount, Bad Larry, sister bands. And they started talking shit. They came in and we just started a fucking... That was not one of the 300 people party. That was just like a bunch of us. We're fighting. And I'm more of the peacekeeper. So Nick from Bad Larry is fighting. He's getting punched in the face. I'm seeing him. Our old guitarist, I'm not kidding when I say this. He grabbed onto a bar and he just swung under and kicked a guy with both of his feet. And this guy, the guy that did it, was a chubby, tubby, geriatric individual.
Yeah.
It was really strange that he did this. It was like... wow. And I'm trying to stop this one guy, and the guy's wicked drunk. And he's like looking past me, and I'm like, dude, we don't need to fight. We're not fighting about anything. And he picked me up, I don't know how, and he put my head through the screen. But I didn't really know it at first. I was all confused because, someone's picking you up and slamming you through things. You know what I mean? That can confuse a man, especially a special kid.
Yep.
And so... afterwards, I'm like, oh, my freaking head, my special brain. Yeah. And I'm like, this hurts. And we look at the screen and there's this gigantic lump in it. And I'm like, what the hell's that from? And I went like, I put my head and it fit perfectly. And I'm like, he put my head in the screen. I didn't realize that.
Like, if only I'd been wearing the helmet that my doctor told me to wear at all times.
He's special,
But we had this big fight.
Wow.
And then they, I think we kind of won, but, we kind of won. And they left, you know what I mean? And then I found out one of them worked for my dad, which is really funny. But
That's funny.
But yeah, so we didn't fight with the bands, but we had arguments. Like we played with the Toasters one time, and I like the Toasters. Bucket is the lead guy, and we were playing at Club Hell, I think, and I was like, we were playing Girls Just Want to Have Fun because Senior Discount has a cover of that, and Bucket took a video of it. And he posted it on his Instagram. Or his Facebook maybe. No idea why. And he's like, shitty cover of Girls Just Want to Have Fun happening now. And I commented on it because I saw it. I was like, Bucket, you piece of shit. Like, I was like, you motherfucker. Or I said like, really cool, Bucket. Something, whatever. And he's like, haha, you guys give it the reverence it deserves. Or some sort of I'm saving face.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Bucket, Toasters. So yeah, so we had like little tiffs. I guess they're not a local band though. They're from New York. And then it was like there was this other band. We were playing a show with like 13 bands. And this was some dumb band that was like half hardcore. I don't remember. And they were like posting about us during the show. It's funny, a lot of this is social media bullshit.
Yeah.
They're posting about us during the show, about how shitty we were. And we had a huge fight with them that was like in public on Facebook. It was really shitty. Someone wrote me and told me I should kill myself. So I screenshotted that. I put it on Facebook. They came after that guy. Then that guy messaged me. He apologized, but he was still kind of a dick. Like all this, there was so much of that kind of drama.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
So much scene drama.
Which is weird because like we were doing this thing where we were making these comedy videos and they were kind of like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Think of like the Monkees, like that. It was like that, but obviously with like R-rated humor, I'd say. And we were like, when we would do a show, we'd do a comedy video to promote it, and we'd say like, "Oh, like this band's on the show, come be in the video. We'll write you a part." And it would, the parts we would write for them would always be like their band is cool and our band is crazy and stupid. It would never be putting down their band. It would always be us making fun of ourselves. And you've been in a bunch of them, and you know that's true.
That's how I got pulled into the abyss.
I love that.
The Chuck Staten abyss.
It is funny how every scene, every part of the country, it's the same story. It was the same way. It was just all just
drama.
At least from I think we're all the same. From at least big time MySpace. I remember big MySpace drama.
Yes, exactly.
I was like literally. I remember there was a MySpace page called CT Hardcore, and they privately messaged me that I was kicked out of hardcore because I didn't. No, they wouldn't accept my request. I don't remember what it was. They wouldn't accept my request because they didn't like my scene dancing or something like that. Because like everyone was a little more serious. Like it evolved over time. They got to the point where our music scene got very serious, and I'm similar to you guys, very silly. And I don't think they liked the silliness.
I think we got into a big fight with Tsunami Bomb. You remember
Really?
Tsunami Bomb?
Yeah.
I believe so. I don't know. Did they have something to do with Fork Something Records or something? I don't know.
I don't remember them. In Connecticut, we had the Flaming Tsunamis. You might have
Oh,
crossed
Flaming
that.
Tsunami. Sorry, not Tsunami Bomb.
Yeah.
We like Tsunami Bomb.
you
We're
played
friends
with
with Tsunami Bomb.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. We love Tsunami Bomb. I was on the lead singer's podcast. He's
There you
been
go.
on ours.
Yeah.
Great band.
Do you know
sorry.
what year was this? Because I had friends in that band at various eras. I wonder if it was an Andy and all
so
them.
this
I
would have
think it
been
was 2007.
Okay,
I think it was when our first album came out. 2006.
It might have been with
Yeah,
Andy and the
but-
gang.
Oh, you knew us?
And Ethan.
No, I'm sorry. Tsunami Bomb.
Oh, Tsunami Bomb. I said
Yeah.
Flaming Tsunamis.
Yes.
The fight with Flaming
The fight
Tsunamis.
was pre-Brad.
Yeah, the fight was
Yeah, yeah.
pre-Brad. I think it was 2006 or 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is funny, but it was always funny because the hardcore shows was the most drama. The ska shows were the most fun,
Yes.
silly, weird people, and the emo shows were exactly what you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our bands that we were really close with were Bad Larry, Ska Band, Slick Willie, which became Arcadia Landing, kind of indie, awesome guys. Loved those
Yeah.
guys. We were friends with Lemon Lime Tennis Shoes. It's so funny because I don't even think of Lemon Lime Tennis Shoes as a different band anymore because the lead singer Matt Kelly is in Senior Discount as the lead guitarist. So
Oh, that's right.
those bands were always great. We did have some drama with Brunavit because the Brunavit, they're actually a really great band. Like they have a couple songs that I think are probably the best, along with M80, the best punk rock songs to come out of Rhode Island. M80 we always had a great relationship with. Those guys are awesome. Bad Fish we played with a million times. I don't know if they were personally too interested in talking to us or like having any sort of interaction, but we were on their shows a ton. And I think it was a really good pair. I think we got a lot of fans and a lot of support from playing those shows because those would be in front of like 2,000 people.
Do you remember we ran into each other like 2 years ago in Boston at Suicide Machines?
Yeah, Suicide Machines.
Yeah.
Yes, that was great.
Our good friend, the band that we are very good friends with to this day. One of our friend Amanda, who's in our friend group from home, it married the guitarist. Was Folly, who I have a tattoo. I've known them forever, but they're back again. But they were playing that show too, and I was like,
Right.
holy shit, Chuck's here.
Yeah, that was great.
Suicide, that record though. Are we all on the same page? Where like a lot of our introduction to the ska core punk rock, unfortunately, was Tony Hawk Pro Skater because that was a big part of it for me.
It was a huge part. Yeah, Superman from Goldfinger was
Yep.
my introduction to ska. Well,
I think Sublime.
Boss Tones.
I think Sublime was it for me.
Yeah.
That's tough.
95, 96,
Well,
like when I went to college, and then
Yeah.
it was the X Games Volume 2 soundtrack.
Yes.
And then Tony Hawk. So
Wow.
Tony Hawk,
I
yeah.
liked. I think I was more the pop punk side of things.
Yeah, I love pop punk.
for sure.
For years, and then probably I don't know that I picked up ska until Chuck forced me.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I made this album of Real Big Fish songs. You're gonna listen to it. He did things to prop open my ears.
Yeah.
It was like Clockwork Orange, but
Yeah.
just for listening.
For ears. Yeah, no, I think for me, I mean, I remember when I was in 8th grade. So when I was actually, wow. Okay. So I think mine first one might have been No Doubt.
Oh, Tragic
Yeah.
Kingdom?
Because,
Or
yeah.
the one before it?
Tragic Kingdom,
I
because
had that album, which technically isn't a ska album, but we'll allow it.
I mean,
I literally just watched Pick It Up again last night, so I was like, it's fresh in my head.
yeah. No, but for me, my first cassette tapes were Green Day Dookie,
Yeah.
Queen Night at the Opera, it's No Doubt, Tragic Kingdom, and then like, soundtracks like Goofy movie soundtrack
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
What were your first cassettes?
Cassettes outside of stuff like people like burning for me or making
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But we're talking cassettes only.
Cassette.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being truthful,
Please,
Yeah,
please,
truthful.
because I
It's-
did.
A ton of Weird Al.
Yeah.
Almost
I was gonna
all
say,
Weird
it's
Al.
Weird Al, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Alvin and the Chipmunks. Fuck yeah.
the Bee Gees.
Alvin.
CDs came a little bit later. I
As,
was a-
as, as somebody,
Simon. Oh, Theodore.
yeah, Meatloaf. Actually, I have to give my mom credit. My parents have great musical taste. And my mom's pop music fanatic, but she turned me on to Meatloaf "Bat Out of the Hell." That was one of the first.
My
tapes
mom
I
did too.
Ever had.
My mom
Love
did
that
too.
album.
So, we had that big fight with Meatloaf. You know about that?
Yes, I do, and I remember we talked about it on a podcast, and I don't know if we had to cut it or not.
We were supposed to cut it,
we
and
were
we didn't
supposed to
cut
have
it, and we
cut
got
it.
in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, was
So
that mine? We talked. That was probably. It wasn't mine that you got in trouble on, but I
No,
remember,
it wasn't. It was ours.
I remember. I think I remember you telling us that story. at
Yeah,
Comic-Con.
we had a fight with Meatloaf, and he did. My mom also introduced me to Bat Out of Hell, and she loved it.
Perfect album.
But he ended up signing the Rocky Horror Picture Show LP for my mom.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
he-
So I
he
got
and
it for
Barry
her.
Bostwick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah. I think my first cassettes.
Bostwick signed it too.
Yeah, I think so. My first cassettes. I don't know if you know the oldies group, The Letterman, but that was one of them, and then two Beach Boys, and then Petra, which is
Wow,
a Christian hair metal band.
I don't know that.
Were you
Yeah.
a Christian music person?
My mom said she would not buy us secular music.
Why?
So,
Oh wait, secular means non-Christian.
right.
Oh,
she
I
said
thought
she would
secular.
only buy us
Yes.
Christian cassettes
'Cause there's
and
a
CDs.
big-
We could spend our own money
Sure.
on tapes and CDs that weren't Christian, but for like Christmas and birthdays, it was like White Cross or White Heart.
And
or,
she said she would only buy you anti-Semitic albums too,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
It all makes sense because there's a big Christian ska crossover. Like
Yeah, there wasn't.
Really?
There wasn't
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was 11. There
or
was
like like the OC Supertones
yeah,
and
Reliant
like,
K.
Wow.
there's
Yeah.
like the big Christian
Nelson.
music festivals that like a lot of
Yeah,
all
there's
the,
one
like,
up in
MXPX.
Vermont.
Like even though they're not Christian, they would like that Tooth and Nail world would kind of
Yeah.
fall into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a weird world of like Christian where it's not even Christian as long as they didn't swear you can get
Right.
away. Like I think
Yeah.
Under Oath was Christian.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Reliant K identified as Christian,
Yeah.
but I never really got that from them.
Yeah.
I had a friend I worked with at Starbucks years ago. Same thing with her mom, and she was able to get Taking Back Sunday because she convinced her it was secular music.
Wow.
Taking Back Sunday.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's really funny. All right, so first cassettes, No Doubt, Tragic Kingdom, Green Day, Queen, a lot of Weird Al.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because you asked me about my introduction to ska. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, what year was that, you think? 95?
Yeah, 95, 90.
I don't know.
No, it was later than that. 98, right?
99?
Okay,
I
so
don't know. We
that's
have no idea.
I was a senior in college, so 99 or 2000.
So I got Dookie when it came out. 95, let's say. It was 94, but let's say I got a 95.
Yeah.
So No Doubt probably was my initial one. Then Goldfinger with Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
Then CD wise, my first 3 CDs were Dave Matthews Band Crash, Sublime, self-titled, and 311 self-titled. I can't believe I can remember that.
Yeah.
Those are my first 3 CDs.
I could see that CD in my head with all the flames on it on the physical CD. The
For
first
which
311.
one?
Yeah.
No, 311 is the blue one.
The blue
Oh,
one,
the
yeah.
blue one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
It's
that- was that
95.
You
We
got
go
a
for the
couple
high.
original. That
Yes.
one.
So I think what it did
think
with
there was one after it.
for ska for me, it was No Doubt, then Pro Skater, then Sublime, then or maybe Sublime, then Pro Skater, then Boss Tones.
Got it.
Let's like who's with the impression that I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the time, your introduction to bands was actually singles and radio,
Right.
which is different now. But at the time, that's how I found out about stuff, which led me to Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake.
Yep.
Less Than Jake, not till probably 2004, but Real Big Fish is my number 1 ska band for sure. Less Than Jake is probably number 2. I love both bands.
so great.
They're so good.
Hey everyone, just wanted to duck in here for a second. Can you believe that Revill just said that?
I know.
We want to disavow a lot of what he says.
Actually, it's about to happen,
Yes.
right? But right after this plug.
Well, yeah, one just happened and another one is about to happen. And the second one's worse.
Yeah, we've got nothing to do with this guy.
We wanted to drop in and make sure we mention we have a Patreon.
Brand new Patreon from Funbearable. It is a donation Patreon. It's really just so you guys can support the show. It starts at $2.50 a month. If you like what we do, help us continue to do it. However, as a little gift to the people who are signing up, we are putting on the back catalog of the Chuck and Brad podcast, which can be found nowhere else.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's not anywhere else. There are already 386 episodes up, probably more than that by the time this comes up.
Yeah.
This comes out. And every Monday, we'll be putting out the next episode in the back catalog. And kind of a fun thing, I don't know if we've said this before, we're trying to make sure that they all line up with the actual seasons.
Yeah.
So our old Halloween episodes, our old Thanksgiving, Christmas episodes, all those should line up with the holidays. So it's kind of like you're getting a double dose of Funbearable and Chuck and Brad during that time of the year. But sign up. We're going to do some exclusive Zoom hangs and talk to people. Hopefully, we're going to put on some exclusive episodes here and there, just little things. But it's going to be a very good time, and we really appreciate the support.
Yeah, we'll see if Chuck lets me do afternoons with Rosie. And I just keep I just follow my cat with a camera for a couple hours and then put it up unedited on Patreon.
It's tough because you said we have to commit to no human language.
Yeah.
So it's a hard sell. That's what I'm saying.
All right, then how about lo-fi chill hop with Rosie? And it's
like that.
It's just her sleeping on the couch with lo-fi chill hop playing in the background.
As long as she's dressed for the occasion, just like a sideways hat, but casual. Casual
Well,
hat.
she's asleep, so
There you go.
She's got her sideways sleep cap.
I like that a lot.
But just come on over. And again, if you can't swing the money, I get it. Just support the podcast by subscribing and liking and sharing and
whatever.
rating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We just really want to get the word out and definitely appreciate you for what you've done so far and hopefully what we can all grow together in the future.
Absolutely. Patreon.com/funbearablepod. Back to the show.
Man, I remember my cousin Sarah was in a band called Unwound, which is like a noisy, like that Sleater Kenny world, like not years ahead of us, but like from the Washington area.
Yeah.
And she came to visit us when they were on tour one time when I was like 12 or 13, and she's like, "I heard you like ska," and she gave me like a Moon Ska record CD.
Yeah,
But it was all like
Toasters. and
first
Pilfers.
wave ska, and it kind of turned me off for ska for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's a little.
I did not like it.
ever
I'm a
hear-
third waver.
I didn't know
personally.
that ska predates reggae.
Ska is the grandfather of reggae.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Oh yeah,
The ska documentary. We actually, I don't know if you know this.
That's
Brad
our
and
mutual
I-
buddy Taylor.
Taylor.
You guys did the thing in Boston.
Oh yeah, the director. Yes, Taylor. Yes,
Taylor Morin. And
Yes.
he just did the Lost documentary.
Yes.
Well, he did Last Blockbuster. I met him around that time, and
Yeah, there's a director named
talented
Taylor Morin,
guy.
and he's done a bunch of documentaries, including the last Blockbuster. The ska documentary is called "Pick It Up." The ska documentary.
it's on
the
YouTube
Lost
for
one.
free right now.
it?
No lie, I literally watched it last night out of the blue.
Tim Armstrong from Rancid narrates. It's a great
So
documentary.
good.
It's funny because through the years, as a filmmaker who's kind of from punk rock, I've met a lot of other ones, and I don't know if you've ever thought about this. Taylor Morin, ska documentary. We hosted the premieres in Boston and Brooklyn.
Now, did you guys have Dave from Big D on that one?
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
I
in a
couldn't go
second.
to it. I remember being jealous because
I'll
Big
talk
D has
about-
a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I'll talk about those in a minute. But it's Taylor Morin doing the ska one. Josh Roush, who is Kevin Smith's main
that's
camera
right.
guy, and he did The Wrong Reasons. And he also is in a band, and he's a punk rock guy. He also films for like Rancid and other bands and stuff like that. Sean Cologne, who did the Fat Wreck documentary.
Our pal, our mutual pal.
And
mutual
Age of
pal.
Audio, yeah,
And there's
podcasting.
one more. Maybe I'm thinking of me. But I'm coming from punk rock and finding
Right.
punk rock stuff. So I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
indie film kind of guys that also come from independent punk rock, which is really cool. And I'm glad to see that.
Sean's really good at collecting all those guys, and like because during the pandemic, It was for the release of the Anti-Flag documentary that was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Cologne, our mutual pal, had put together the punk rock documentary Filmmakers Roundtable that I produced and hosted it. But the other one on there was Scott Crawford, who did Salad Days.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the gentleman's name who did the Anti-Flag documentary. It was so good. But
I heard
Sean,
he's
like,
not a general and he's more of a scoundrel. I'm just kidding.
but I know like Sean is really good at introducing all those guys. I also have a memory just flashed to me. I remember being at What Cheer Writers Club, which is now Lit Arts, when they were downtown.
Yeah, What Cheer Writers Club, because we kind of have to explain this stuff just because a lot of the audience is national.
Yeah.
What Cheer Writers Club is this awesome place in Providence that people that want to do podcasting, writing, journalists kind of have a place to go. It almost feels like a library, but with more creativity of the people coming there to create things.
It was like early in my podcasting time, and like we had all met. Maybe we've known each other a couple of years, but it was still in podcast. The podcast is very fragmented, and you and I had both independently interviewed Sean Cologne when he was doing fundraising for a Fat Wreck, but he didn't know that we knew each other. I remember we were we're just talking. I'm like, you know the same guy I know? And like it was the first time in doing podcasts, like my head exploded, and he had has gone on to do some amazing stuff as well.
Oh yeah, Sean Cologne is awesome. He just did Age of Audio, the new podcasting documentary we were talking about. And there's tons of people in that. Mark Maron, Ira Glass.
Your boy Kev?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we both are part of it.
Yeah.
I filmed an interview in Providence, so I guess I'm in the credits for it. Probably.
Yeah, I saw your name in it, and
then you.
I did some of the fundraising with I had a podcast company that we're wrapping up now that we did. So we ended up doing some of the crowdfunding and some of the marketing and raising. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the amount, but we raised some money for it. So it was my first film credit. It was really cool.
$45.
Yeah,
I'll say the amount.
I gotta add that to my reel and my and also my
resume.
My resume.
Yeah.
How weird. Anyway. So hosting the Scott documentary premieres, I think it just happened because I reached out to Taylor and was like, hey man, we're on the East Coast because he's on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, he also did another thing. They were during the pandemic. Do you know about this? I think he had tons of people across the country reenact scenes from Back to the Future 2.
Yes, I do.
And he put together the whole movie by having one person do one group of people do each scene. Which is brilliant and something I think should continue.
Yeah. It's funny how all the like these little crossovers, but all these are people I've never met in real. Well, now I've met Sean, but I've never met Taylor. But all these people we've never met, but they're all over the country.
Yeah, you should look that up. Maybe we'll put a link in the description notes if you want to write this down. Okay. Basically, like, you want to use your phone?
Yes,
that's easier. It's a really great idea to have people across the country be like, hey, there's 27 or 28 scenes in Back to the Future 2. Each person take one and do it and then put it together as a movie. That's really fun. What a great Taylor Morin, man. Give it up for him because that's fucking awesome.
That's super fun.
But I reached out to him and I was like, are you doing, Q&As, whatever? I don't remember exactly how it happened, but we did a premiere in Brooklyn and we got to do a Q&A with Scott Klopfenstein from Real Big Fish and Cooley Ranks from the Pilfers live on stage.
Oh man.
Yep, we did that. For the Brooklyn premiere, and Scott played a whole solo set on piano.
Damn.
I love Real Big Fish is my favorite band, and for my personal band, Senior Discount, for my band, Senior Discount, our harmonies are really inspired by the Real Big Fish harmonies, which are incredible, and Scott is the one doing those harmonies, and he's a trumpet player, and a guitarist, And we also did the Boston premiere of the Scott documentary where we got to interview and do a Q&A with Dave McWayne from Big D and the Kids Table live on in front of the audience. Yeah. And that was really fun too. And it was really cool to be included in that way. It's funny because I was just thinking about it because on my Instagram at Discount Chuck, every Friday I do Vinyl Fridays. Which, by the way, when I came up with that name for doing record stuff, I'm like, Brad's going to appreciate Vinyl Fridays
I do.
more than anybody.
Yeah.
And I just take one.
It's the right amount of silly.
I think so.
Yeah.
Whenever I take a record from my collection, I show it off on, I take pictures of all the actual artwork, all the stuff, and I talk about kind of my relationship with the record and why I love it. And I'm like, it's kind of cool. Who knows if someone would give it a shot because they like music that I've made or whatever. And I think it's fun. And I just put up one from Real Big Fish.
Nice.
And I talked about the Brooklyn premiere and tagged Scott. And he actually reached out to me and DM'd me. He's like, how are things? And we just talked recently, last week.
Wild.
Yeah, it was really cool. The way that Scott started talking to me is that we did one episode of the Chuck and Brad podcast all about the album Turn the Radio Off by Real Big Fish. And he listened to it and he reached out and was like, that was awesome. And it's crazy because I've been a fan of theirs, for so long, probably since 1998 or 1999. And it's so that the hosting those two things was great. And it's great to become somewhat of collaborators with all these different punk rock filmmakers, because all these people I feel like I've been involved with in some way. And it's really cool to have that collective, especially across the country.
Yeah.
Josh Rouse is California. Taylor Morin's California. Sean Colon is Texas, right?
Yes.
Sean's Alex. Taylor is Oregon, I believe.
Oregon. Okay. So then, and then it's us on the East Coast. It's really, really cool and special.
No, it's nice. Do you guys mind plugging your ears? Because I'm going to say nice things about you, which you might not like.
No, whatever you want to say.
For anyone,
I'll say shitty things after us.
Oh, good. We'll make up for it.
Thank you.
So you guys were always the ones of like in our little podcast creative art scene, our little bubble. You guys were always like ahead of me and everyone else, and I was always healthy jealous. I was like, oh my god, I remember getting so jealous I couldn't go to that. But you guys were, I mean, you specifically, Chuck, too. You were the first one that I knew in our little world of like. When I was working in healthcare, we all had podcasts or little side projects. You were the first one who actually took it and made it a career. But you actually then turned around and gave a lot of opportunities back to a lot of us in Rhode Island. So I've always like been really appreciative of that, and I think a lot of people in our community have. And but I was thinking about that because I remember getting so jealous that you did that ska thing, and I was like, I didn't get to go to it, and I'm still mad about it. But I was so jealous of you guys. But I always thought that was so cool, and I don't think you guys ever. I don't know if you let it sink in enough, but like it's really appreciative because I've gotten to meet a lot of people all over the country. Not everyone has a great creative art scene like we do in Rhode Island. Yeah. They really don't. And like our podcast scene, our music scenes are all really tight. And I always gave you guys a lot of credit for that. You guys were always we were the first ones I knew that were like hosting Rhode Island food fight stuff, like super hyper local stuff. And then I kind of watched you guys grow and then start doing Comic-Con. And then like I think I met you right when you first did your first Tell 'em Steve Dave thing.
Yeah, 2016
so
is when I did
you
it.
had just like told me this crazy story. You're like, I don't know how this happened. Oh, blah, blah. It was really cool.
I appreciate that.
It's really cool to see that. And it's like, it's fun to be along for the ride with people. And like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like you get into meeting the guy from Real Big Fish. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, of course. It's
cool.
It was funny because like, to me, I think that what I always tell people that I think is really cool is like, for like when people are like, how do I get into this or how do I do this, or I think just push and reach out and get used to hearing no.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing. Love the fail. Get used to the no. It's fine. And if you reach out to 20 people to do something, if 2 people say yes, if 10% of those people say yes, then you get these cool opportunities. And I think that started with the band. Which is, I was only like 19 when the band really started and we started having to reach out and figure that stuff out. And we were green as shit, had no idea about anything. We opened it for our first show, literally with Senior Discount. We opened the Yellow Pages telephone book and we found the first venue that said they had music and we reached out to them. And that's how we had our first show. Because we were like, we want to play the Living Room, which is a great independent venue in Providence. That I think the capacity was 550 people, and our dream was to play at Lupo's, which is the capacity is 2,000 people, and that became our home club is Lupo's.
That's wild.
So we just reached out, and with the podcast, I was already used to it. Do you feel like that? We were just like used to being like, let's just do shit.
Yeah.
So we got no's all the time. We asked people to be on the podcast, we got no's. We asked to host things, we got no's. But we just kept reaching out. So we reached out to Comic-Cons. We reached out to RF Food Fights. We reached out to Taylor Morin and people like that. And we were nobody. We're, by the way, I still consider us nobody.
Oh, absolutely.
And
disagree.
And but what he did was like, it's so funny, the Tell 'em Steve Dave thing. And this is kind of what I really think people should think about, because when you do stuff independently and you're like, I'm the person booking this, I'm the person making the thing. We don't know how many people are going to show up to the thing or how many people are going to like my thing. And we're just going to do it to a high degree anyway, even though we're making $0.
Yes.
A lot of people turn back when they see that. They're like, well, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
The reason for me is because then you get to show it to the next person up and you get this much higher. So we filmed a live episode, which had never happened in Providence by that time. I think it was 2014, 15.
Yeah.
And I took that to Tell 'em Steve Dave, the group that I work with now with the guys from Comic Book Men and Quinn from Impractical Jokers, if people don't know. And I showed them what we did independently because they were doing a live show. And that's how they brought me in to direct their live show and film that. And I brought Brad in as well. Mm-hmm. And we filmed that. And all those little pieces of we're just doing a podcast for no money to a small audience got us these second steps into this. And those second steps got us to third steps, and third got to fourth. And we made these incremental increases. And I still feel like that's what we're doing. I still feel like we're at that level where we're just like a little bit higher.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
trying to push. But yeah, I love Rhode Island. I love the scene. And whenever I can bring people in, I want to. Like I even like, during the show, during the Chuck and Brad podcast, and now during Funbearable, I like the idea of pulling in people from Rhode Island because, to pull back the curtain, a lot of times some people don't want to do that because they're like, well, we have a national audience. We want a national audience. You don't want to bring in people that they won't know who they are or don't have any context for. And I say no, because you can still be like, here are the roots. Here's where we came from. Here are the people surrounding that. Here are the people encouraging that. Here are the people we're encouraging. Let's just give context to all that stuff to the listeners. And I think that does fly. And it feels like a part of the journey of the people you already like. If people already like Funbearable and there are these people around us who have been part of this thing,
absolutely.
it's great to bring them in.
I couldn't agree more.
So that's how I think it goes.
Did you guys find the same thing for podcasts as like for you for comedy and for you for music? Like for me, the podcast kind of just replaced what the punk scene was for me.
A lot of that, I said one time, I was thinking about it and I was like,
It's very similar.
3 people around mics saying whatever they want and doing whatever they want and bringing whatever creativity to the table. That could describe punk rock and that could describe podcasting.
Which is like the green room. Like it's just like, or you're being in the van or just you're bullshitting or wherever it is. And like for me, I took all of my DIY punk rock ethics and just took that and like, I was a better marketer in the beginning than I was a podcaster. And like, I was really good at, cause I'd thrown DIY shows. I went to I'm not a musician, but I went to shows. I used to book shows. Like, I just took that tenacity of very similar to what you have of saying the nose and just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I was a better promoter of the stuff I was making. Eventually the stuff got better and good, possibly even good.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it got good. Hell yeah.
For sure. You're good.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Yeah, it's the same thing. Cause comedy is also like, every musician wants to be a comedian. Every comedian wants to be a musician.
I think it's, for me personally, it's like when Brad would come with us to shows, which was really, really often, and we were driving all over the place, the ride home with the van full of people joking around.
The best.
It almost like there's the band and then there's the people surrounding it, which was, people's significant others, merch people that came with us, Brad, who is part of all the comedy stuff that we did. We were all just a collective. It didn't matter who was in the band and who wasn't in the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the best.
And I just went up to around Utica. It was actually a different town, but I forget the name of it. But it was around Utica with my buddy Brian Nichelle, who's kind of my mentor in film, and a couple other guys to film this sizzle reel for HGTV. And I can't talk about it. I don't think I should talk about it. But the ride up in the van, 4 hours, and the ride back in the van, 4 hours, it was the same as Senior Discount.
Yeah, same
We're
energy.
joking the whole time. You go into real conversations. You talk about philosophy about a thing. You get into a running joke where you're making fun of one person a million times. Remember Kyle Platt from Sweet Babylon?
Yeah.
We were doing it. What were we going to for that?
I don't remember. We were somehow the topic of the channel came up.
We love Kyle Platt. He's a great guy.
Great guy.
From Sweet Babylon. Great band. Check them out. From, I think, New Bedford, Massachusetts. And we played with them a bunch. And Kyle Platt, I think he came to some kind of event with us, like a comedy or music event. And we were all in the van together. He fits the group perfectly. Wonderful dude. And we were talking about this tunnel, which is supposed to go from...
It goes, the channel, it's like the English Channel. It goes under the channel, connects England and France.
Okay.
It's a pretty big tunnel.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Kyle somehow got it into his brain that it connected England to America. That it was an underground tunnel across the ocean. And boy, oh boy, did we run that joke into the ground.
It was so funny. It was the best. And like, that's the best.
I'll say we started joking and then we started talking about seriously, like, how could you do it? Well, you'd have to put rest stops and
have to
hotels.
put gas stations
and,
under
like
the
this
ground.
whole thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, but that's exactly what it is. Especially like we're from, we had cell phones, we're of that era, but like, I had a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Like even before that, I was like a Nokia. So there was a lot of those times in the like in
No
the
one's on
early
their
days.
phones.
Yeah, I'd be like doing merch for somebody, and we're driving, and just like it's like 4 or 6 hours in a van of a bunch of dudes eating Taco Bell, farting, and making the dumbest jokes for
Yep.
6 straight hours.
And it's the best time of your life.
Yeah. Maybe
How
this
much
was
do you
the-
miss those times?
I
Oh my
do
God,
miss those
yeah.
times.
You're like
It's the
delirious.
Going to a diner, going to an IHOP,
Yeah.
we're throwing pancakes, we're joking around with the waitress, like
Yep.
that. Oh my God, it's the best.
I felt like the podcast world kind of turned into that too, and it took a while. For a long time, at least for me, like the podcast was very much online in my room by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually there was like a scene here in Rhode Island, and like you were one of the first people. I remember when that article came out. I was like, "There's others."
Yeah, there
There was probably
podcasts,
like 10 or 12 of us doing it back then.
Yeah, it was
Realistically, now
yeah.
I couldn't even keep count.
Yeah, there's a lot now. Yeah, it's really, really funny. All that stuff. It's funny because
And you guys are always doing like Comic Cons and stuff too. Like you always
Yes.
just get doing
Well,
cool
well,
ass shit.
it's funny because Brad and I still do that. Like we do that pretty often. Like we sometimes we record in the car as well.
Yeah.
In terms of like podcasting, but we've done a lot of driving. Like we drove to Pennsylvania last summer. How long was that? 6 hours there, 6 hours
Yeah.
back. We just talked the whole time. It's not even like honestly. When we have that conversation about the best songs of all time?
It was on the way back from Washington, wasn't it? Washington, D.C.?
For what?
So 3.5 hours.
Oh,
It was-
for
yeah.
for Warped Tour this year.
Yeah.
And that was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So we're still doing it all the time.
What landed on that list? Though? I'd love to.
Well,
find
it's
out.
Chuck has a playlist of the best songs of all time, and so we'd go through the list and he would play it and say, "Is this on your list?"
Can you give
Like
us
very
what's one song on your
accusatory.
list? I gotta know.
You wanna
there-
hear?
Oh,
Just
boy.
at least one. I'm guessing Meatloaf.
Just the first 5.
I don't even know if I need to go through.
Yeah,
that
they're,
many.
they're,
I'll
they're,
just-
give us like two or
they're
three.
not
I'm
in
just
order.
curious.
Yeah,
okay, ready? Let me find out. You have to do alphabetical because it's under B for best.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Nice.
does.
That's tough because you got to get up there with like Beethoven and crap.
Yeah.
Well, the way I'm doing it is that I'm just letting songs play and seeing like whatever comes up that I feel like should be on it. I add.
Can I gonna get? You probably have the Johnny Cash "Hurt" cover on there.
Nope, it hasn't come up.
Not yet.
Fly from Sugar Ray.
All right, I take it all back. It's a terrible fucking list. A terrible list
How about Crazy on You?
by Heart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
It's a great song. Work from Home by Fifth Harmony.
I don't know that one.
Work. Oh,
You don't
it's the
got to
best
go to
song.
work. Yeah, it's
Mostly Yo Gabba Gabba.
yes.
Sweet Emotion from Aerosmith.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight after this. Glycerin by Bush.
It's a good
All I Want
s-
from The Offspring.
But best ever like
Best-
written.
Well, hold on. It could have like 2,000 songs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like-
those are some fun mixes.
It's basically the songs that I like the most. It's not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best
yeah.
songs of all time. But yeah, we still do that. But yeah, it's the most fun, and I think it's like part of that creative thing, man. It's because it is all creative people who are going to do this kind of stuff. Even if you're just going to Warped Tour and you're not part of a band, you're not part of a thing, you're going for creativity.
Yeah.
So it's people that want to bond and want to have a good time, and it's one of the best parts of it, man.
There's nothing better in life than singing, dancing, or laughing with a group of people.
Oh, I
There's just-
can.
It's like you know that Joan Rivers quote: when you make someone laugh, you give them a vacation.
Yes,
it's true.
That's great. That's a great quote.
I
never
live
heard
by
that.
that. Like my wife and I just went to Jack's Mannequin's 20th anniversary tour in Boston.
Wearing the shirt.
right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's literally Everything in Transit is one of my favorite records ever
great-
made
it's
in the
a-
history of music.
it's a
I could
great
put some of
record.
those songs on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And but like I have not had like it was I'm not religious, but it was like borderline spiritual. It was
Yeah.
they're playing the
I
album in
felt
its
like that
entirety.
for sure.
I was uncontrollably crying and dancing. So
Yeah.
the backstory very quickly is it was a singer of Something Corporate, which was a popular emo band at the time. He left the band, goes to make his solo record. Right before the record comes out, he gets leukemia and almost
Yes.
dies.
Yeah.
So the
Wow.
record doesn't really do what it was supposed to, but it was still very popular
Yeah.
within the world. So we're at the show 20 or 25 years later, and he's on stage making a speech about how I almost died 25 years ago.
Wow.
Blah, blah, and I'm with these people, and just like, I'm having goosebumps even talking about it.
Yeah.
Like the power of music.
Oh, dude, I completely agree. I've had those moments
I'll
too.
say at one of the show, maybe it was When We Were Young.
So jealous you
Yeah,
guys went
he
to that.
he played Something Corporate songs, Jack's Mannequin songs, and Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness songs, and I was moved. It's
It's incredible.
I think Something Corporate for me, I got into them late, as I get into
Same.
most bands late, and I was so frustrated. I'm like, well, I'm never going to get to see a Something Corporate show. And so to get to see them at When We Were Young in 2023, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, you know, before I met Chuck's friend Jordan, I'm like, oh, like I had heard the name Jordan, and I'm like, oh, like if you see Jordan, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Not different Jordans. I'll say this: our Jordan, good Jordan.
Yeah,
Andrew
for sure.
McMahon's Jordan, less good.
Yeah,
less good.
I think When We Were Young was the number one
jealous.
best concert I've ever gone to in my
It
life.
has to be like I was.
What do you
oh
think?
My God.
Boy, it was. Yeah, probably.
It was just too many. The headliners were Blink, Green Day, Sum 41, Offspring, and then it was like Goldfinger, the Ataris,
Yeah.
MXPX.
Yeah, I think so.
It was just
Didn't a lot of the smaller bands I love, like the Starting Line, like the more like the drive through record bands were on there that I fucking love.
It was. I've never been to a concert with so many bands that I
I'm
love.
so jealous. I'm
It was-
so jealous.
It's weird because I also like we saw Against Me at it wasn't Fishco then. What was the name of
Whiskey
it?
Republic.
Whiskey Republic. And you know,
Providence.
Yeah, on like the soft opening night. And
Yes.
so
Was it when it was before the transition?
so
It was when they opened Whiskey
Yeah. I mean,
I
Republic.
mean before when the singer was a male.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like earlier Against Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God.
And but I wish I had known more of Against Me because it was such a great atmosphere
Yeah,
for a show.
and when you know the words, it's just something to it.
Yeah.
But it's always I always think about that too. But like music, I want to see the thing I already know.
Yeah.
Comedy, I want to be surprised.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see.
That's right.
I don't want to go to a comedy show and hear the same. It has to be fresh and new. It's like
You
a
know-
magic trick.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and I'm going to talk about it on a different episode, so I don't know what order this is going to come out in. But we just saw Lenny Kravitz this weekend for the
I
first
saw
time.
whatever festival you're at. I'm so jealous of the artists you got to see.
It was the See Here Now Festival in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Oh. I was like, I'm interested in Lenny Kravitz. I think Are You Gonna Go My Way is one of my favorite rock songs of all time,
Yeah.
the best. And I like his other singles too. It Ain't Over Till It's Over. I Want to Fly Away. Fly Away, I guess is what it's called. And Lenny Kravitz's set, which is 90% songs I didn't know, was the most incredible set of songs I don't know already that I've ever seen in my life.
That's impressive.
It was incredible. He went back and forth between like funk and classic rock and roll, and I was floored. Me and Jordan and my girlfriend Natalie were just fucking floored by how good he was. There's a song I'll send it to both of you, and you're gonna be like, "This is one of my favorite songs," and you'll be like, "Best songs of all
Yeah,
time."
of
You'll
course.
make your
Add to the
playlist.
list.
It's so good. It's interesting. I agree with you for the most part. I mean, you definitely want to hear the songs you do love.
Yeah,
for
at least
sure.
one- at least one.
Yeah.
And with comedy, you don't want to hear the bits you
No.
love. You want to hear new bits that are of the quality of the bits you
just a
love.
bit-
I'll
to
say
it.
the only exception to the comedy rule is Chuck and I sit down and Family Matters comes on, and Carl Winslow's like wrapping a crystal vase for
Yeah,
his
that-
wife, and then
that's our
Urkel comes
go-to.
in, and we laugh for
Sure,
an hour and a half.
I mean,
We
like more
pause
stand-up,
it
but yeah.
to laugh because we know what's going down.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I meant more like stand up, but I knew what you mean.
No,
I know exactly what you mean.
different
Yeah.
kind of laughter.
Yeah.
It's funny too because I don't know exactly when this will have come out, but by this time it will have come out. We have a mini documentary coming out about Funbearable going to New Jersey to record a bunch of episodes with Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a 34-minute doc. I shot it all on a GoPro, and it's us going there, and it's clips of all the podcasts and all the people we podcasted
That's
with.
awesome.
Did you watch it yet?
I'm over halfway done with it.
What do you think?
I think I'm like amazed at how funny we are when we're not trying to be funny.
It's so, but it does, a lot of it is like, yes, this is three friends taking a trip and just having fun and being stupid the entire time, which is what we were
The
talking
best.
about.
Yeah. The best.
And I love it. I wish everyone captured that. Blink-182 had two documentaries called The Urethra Chronicles 1 and 2, and they're just perfectly that. They're just perfectly
Yeah.
dudes having fun with each other. And by dudes, I mean human beings.
yeah.
Mark Hoppus's podcast, I think, was one of the very first podcasts I ever listened to in like 2000 and
Hi, my name is Mark.
yeah.
It's the best. And then his show, Hop is on Pop,
I
was
saw
just a
on Fuse.
continuation. Which, you know
Yeah.
who the co-host was at the start of that? Amy Schumer.
Yep.
First person to put her on TV. Mark Hoppus.
Wow. Were you Fuse fans?
I didn't watch that much Fuse, but I really liked their Warped Tour Roadies documentary.
Sure.
And I loved the No Effects documentary, Backstage Passport. and I love the Mark Hoppus show.
I think for me, Fuse was like, oh, I want to put this on, and maybe I'm cleaning or I'm
Yes.
reading, or
Yeah.
I'm doing other things. This is probably music I'm going to like. Steven's Untitled Rock Show is like what sticks out for me from Fuse.
I'm really glad you said that because that show was really big to me.
Yeah.
One of the earliest, my old podcast, he was a lot of who I modeled my hosting after. I was such a fan of his, and they had a podcast, still going on now, but him and he has since left, called Going Off Track. Is an early podcast I fell in love with. So he came on my podcast probably in my first like couple years.
Oh, wow.
It was him, and then Jonah Bear was one of the writers who I really loved, and he like. I was probably a couple years in, and he like complimented me after we did the interview, and to me it was like God speaking to me, and that was like the juice that like kept me going for
That's
years.
great,
and years.
man.
The nicest guy, but I used to love that show. That is like it's like the thing with Real Big Fish. There's people who aren't like famous, but they
Yeah.
mean the world to you.
Oh,
and
without
you
a
get
doubt.
to connect and have like a moment together. And
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's a comedian named Kevin Ryan. He's one of the hosts of Are You Garbage, which is one of like the most popular.
it's right behind. I'm looking at a poster right behind me of
Yeah.
it.
And he wrote me one time about contacting Kevin Smith for something. And he said to me, he's like, really happy to hear you on Tuesdays with Stories with Mark Norman and Joe List. He goes, it's really rare that a producer comes in and just like slides in so organically and fits the show. And I was like, that's it. I don't care what Reddit says.
Exactly.
I don't care what anyone says about how I should die. And they're glad my grandmother's
You got
dead.
a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That I was like, an actual serious, extremely successful comedian and podcaster thinks this, and so I don't care
Yeah.
what
There's-
the anonymous people think.
Isn't it nice because you are that person to someone right now, if you know it or not? Like I've met people online and in person who feel that way about you guys at some level, and like I think that's really cool.
I think it's really cool too.
It's like I think it's a really special moment. Like that's really fun. Like can't imagine people must have hit you up over the years. Like, can you get me in? Like, even people who know that I know you will be like, can you ask Chuck if you can give me contact to Seven Smith? I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
Well, one time someone asked me if they could pitch some. This is years ago, before I worked on Jokers, Impractical Jokers. They said, "Can I pitch some jokes to you for Impractical Jokers?" And I wrote back, yeah, we all live in a big house together. So just let me know and I'll
course.
talk about it at dinner. And they're like, okay. Actually, someone hit me up yesterday and they were like, hey, can you give me Mark Norman's contact information or his manager's contact information? I want to book him for a show. And I wrote back, yeah, let me get all of Mark Norman's private contact information and his manager's information. I'll tie that up real quick and give it to you, kind stranger.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I think that's a big part of what I learned from booking too, is how being respectful of people, what you ask, when you ask. Like,
Oh, for sure.
like I was at a New Year's Eve party in Rhode Island, and Matt Rife was there, and I ended up getting to meet him briefly.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, you should ask him on the Hey Roadie podcast." I'm like, that is not how you do that.
That's like a third meeting question.
It's like you don't meet someone. You ask first. It's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you're not working, you're not-
It's like a VIP. There's like beautiful women around, like the 40-year-old comedy nerd. Hey man, want to come and talk comedy sometime?
What you can do is just basically kind of, if it comes up naturally in conversation,
Absolutely.
say you have a podcast, the end.
The end.
If he offers, great.
And usually, and like I don't know Matt, but I know I know a lot of people work. He lives famously now. He lives in Rhode Island. So
Yeah, he bought the Conjuring House.
oh, I heard that.
crazy.
So I've become friends with his opener. Alex is really cool, and like I have to give Matt a lot of credit because I didn't actually have the strongest opinion of him like most people. But then once he moved to Rhode Island, he actually has been hiring a lot of like the Rhode Island people who live here to work for him.
That's cool.
And he's been doing a lot of drop-ins and pop-ins. So he's done a
Yeah.
lot for our comedy scene. So it's like, by all accounts, he's actually a good guy.
People, I think that he's a really good guy from
He's like-
everyone I've
Yeah.
ever heard work with him.
I know the number. Like I've heard stories, and then he pays his people, and he pays them on time, which you can know in this industry doesn't
Mm-hmm.
always happen. So I thought that was cool, but I forgot where we're going with that. But no, it's always so cool when these people that can lean so large to you all of a sudden become your friends, or like you guys must have had that with oh my god, the guy from Clerks that you did the Bradley Drawn with at
Oh,
Comic-Con?
Brian O'Halloran?
Yeah, like
O'Halloran,
he's your friend at this
so
point.
it's so funny. We did this is gonna be a little bit hard to explain, but that's okay. So Tell 'em Steve Dave, I was talking about earlier, their podcast. They've been around since 2000, like right before us, 2008, I think, and or maybe right after us. I don't even know. So they have like a really hardcore fan base, and there's a guy who's a fan named The Curator. He's been a listener since the beginning, and he's like the most intense fan that knows the most facts about the show. He created the Omnibus, the TESD Omnibus, which has every other podcast appearance they've done in order, as well as all their side podcasts in order. So you could listen to 600 podcasts, and it's as they recorded them.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. I know him personally. He's a great guy. he threw a Tell 'em Steve Dave celebratory weekend this summer, and they ended with screening the next Tell 'em Steve Dave video live in a movie theater.
Wow.
In Kevin Smith's movie theater, Smodcastle. And obviously, like, I'm in it, and so, you know, so are a lot of our friends. We're all sitting together, and O'Halloran happened to be there. He walked into the theater, which is probably like a couple hundred people, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in the wrong theater," as a joke, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're going crazy over Brian O'Halloran." He's walking out. I'm in the back row, like probably second to back,
Because
And he goes,
you're cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he goes,
Sunglasses on.
sunglasses, hat. I didn't want to get swarmed.
Yeah.
And
That little tag that says "Not Chuck."
yeah. And he goes like this. He goes, "Is that Chuck? Fuck you, Chuck." And he, like, you know, he just pointed me out in the crowd from far away. And that is cool. I mean, Kevin Smith, you know, Brian Quinn from Jokers. Like, there's a lot of people that I'm just
Norman
like,
too. I mean, come on.
yeah, Mark Norman and Joe List. They were the main two comedians I wanted to work with in the country. And yeah, there's a lot of people now that I've worked with that I'm like Birbiglia, like a lot of people that I've, you know, David Tell like texted me by accident the other day, and I'm like, this is the wrong Chuck, and he's like, "Oh, Chuck, how you doing?" Blah blah blah, and I'm like, "How you doing?" And we worked on a show together, a weekly show that he wanted to do, and he hasn't really figured out how he wants to do it, but they did a version of it live recently at the Stand in New York. And I was like, "How's the show coming out?" He's like, "It's coming out pretty good." He's like, you know, we're still figuring it out. But like all these people that I'm like, I can't believe I know these people and they know
it's
me
the
and we
best.
have these kind of conversations. Of course, it's fucking insane.
It's like, I think coming in the DIY punk scene, there was almost no celebrity. There's never a difference from band and audience member.
A lot of times. But like,
lot of-
actually, we did have a big fight with Streetlight Manifesto, the lead singer Tom from Catch-22.
Oh yeah.
We had a big
yeah.
fight with him, and
I can see that.
it wasn't me. It was our old bassist Kevin, who's like a very, very hostile and confrontational person that maybe shouldn't be walking around on the earth.
So is Thomas.
I think maybe he should be. Remember how Australia used to be like a prison?
A penal colony.
That's where he belongs.
Okay.
Not Australia now.
Yeah.
Australia in like what, 1910?
You're probably 1810.
Okay, that's where he belongs. But he can learn the boomerang
yeah, I think so.
and the didgeridoo.
Yeah.
He would be great at the didgeridoo. Can you do that? Nope. Can you do one of them?
I can't and I won't.
No.
Is that really a musician? Is that really an instrument?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on a
In
synth
what way?
yes, so
Yes.
it's gotta be.
All right. Anyway, yeah, he got into a big fight with Tom, and Kevin was in the wrong for sure. But yeah, no, it's a crazy, crazy thing. I actually do want to transition though. It's like, so when did you and I learn about each other?
Before that, can I just give you a quick streetlight story?
Hell yeah!
Because I'm actually really proud.
I know that Tom is kind of famously not a great dude,
Not like
not a very kind dude.
yeah, not like in the rapist way.
No, he's not like that. He's just like kind of. Is he egotistical?
Very focused on his art. I don't know him personally, but
Yeah.
so my old podcast,
I don't know either.
Let's Chat with Chris Revill, they're all still out there. I'm the only podcast, to my knowledge, and I think this is true, that I've interviewed not one but two members of Streetlight Manifesto.
Wow.
Pete McAuliffe, the bassist, and then rest in power, Matthew Stewart, their trumpet player that passed away a couple years ago. Wow. I think I'm his only interview. Actually, we did two. He did one. And then we actually became friends. Same thing in those moments of like, oh, we're like friends. Like we talked about, we were both dads. It was really great, really sad when he passed. But then he came back. We did a second episode where we didn't talk about music at all. And from what I've heard through the grapevine, that Streetlight Thomas specifically got very angry and was asked for it to never be released.
Why?
Wow.
Matt didn't go through any of the Streetlight PR when he came on the podcast.
cares?
Streetlight doesn't do interviews or anything. It took me 4 years to book that interview.
Yeah.
Dude,
But,
what?
yeah.
That is bizarre. We had the bassist of Bowling for Soup on, and he told the whole history of the band. And it's funny because he told the first half, and he was like, "This was awesome. Let's do the second half." And then he left the band, and I think I don't know if it was on good terms or not.
Yeah, that's wild. So
They've been cool though. Like the lead singer of Bowling for Soup, Jarrett Reddick.
you were supposed to open them, right? And it snowed.
Yeah.
I had ticket for it and everything.
Yeah, I was supposed to open for them like a couple years ago, and it snowed out. And it was not only snowed out. The other guy, the other guitarist, his wife was going to go into labor like that weekend. She was going to give birth,
yeah.
And they were like, "If we get snowed in, I won't be able to be there for the birth of my child."
That makes sense.
But Jared Reddick from Bowling for Soup helped us play a prank on our friend.
I love that.
It was great.
Yeah.
It's kind of. Do you think it's too difficult to explain the
It
prank?
is. I think
I think
so.
it's really difficult, but he did a great job.
I love that. But yeah, to get back to your question, I remember before I knew you, I would see you Senior Discount a lot in like the local publications, and then like I'd see
Police blotter.
like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but I remember you would win like Motif's best pop punk band,
Yeah, we won a bunch of awards from
stuff like
Phoenix
that,
and Motif.
and then like I was
I
familiar.
actually asked them to stop giving us awards. Do you know that?
No,
I was like, I don't want to be in. I don't want to because it's like
at some point
we've been around for a long time, so more people are going to be like, "Oh, Senior Discount." I'm like, we won 2 years in a row. I don't think we should be part of this anymore. And so they did. They were nice enough to take us off the ballot.
I remember I was familiar with you through online through like through the like just like comedy and stuff, and maybe I've seen you perform somewhere down the line. But it was the article that Oren wrote for Rhode Island Monthly about like 5 podcasts that aren't Crime Town, and then I went through that article and reached out to everyone on that list.
Yeah.
And then I remember I invited you on Let's Chat, and you're like, "Yeah, just come to my house." And we had never met.
Yep.
I showed up at your house, and then we sat down and talked for like 3 hours straight. But your house was all of my favorite things, like like Ninja Turtle toys, and it was like, and I was like, "Wait, you love comedy and music as much as I love you too?" And then literally we just sat down and talked for 3 hours, and then
I think what we did too was you came. I was on your podcast.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Brad came over and
Yep.
we switched over and we did you on our
we did
podcast.
one with
Yes.
we did one with you, and then we did one with you and Brad. We did
Yeah.
over the years. We've done tons
Yeah.
Oh,
together.
yeah, we've
other
done a
people.
bunch over the years.
But yeah, I remember that being because I was at healthcare, and at that point, I just would just leave my job in the middle of the day and not tell anyone to go record podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would just, and I was like, I got an hour. I think I was there for 3 hours.
yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. So,
And I was like, oh,
that's
you
is
guys
that
are
the
good.
first time we met?
Yeah, that was the first time we
And
went
that's when we started talking about the music scene and all that bullshit.
And then we just found out. Again, I started doing research, and then I think you had just got signed to Les and Jake's label.
Yes.
And like one of the
Paper and
guys from Les
Plastic.
and Jake is from the area where I grew up, so I was like, oh my god, Jake.
This is a real suck my own dick podcast.
Yeah.
Sure is.
but it's mostly from Revel. He's
Yeah,
sucking my
I'm
dick,
a
not
good-
me.
I'm
Well,
good at
then how's it at your own?
Well,
Yeah.
I've got the balls in my mouth.
okay.
Yeah, that's what it
You gotta
was.
cup them a little.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how I met you guys. And then, but then you guys were always really good too about inviting people, like specifically me, to things.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think
No,
that's one of the secrets of life.
That's,
Is just,
that's Chuck's hospitality gene that
Yeah.
I don't have.
It's true. It's like
but not even like creative stuff. It'd be like, I'm having a birthday party.
Yeah.
I'm having a pool party.
I'm having a pool party. I'm having a dinner. I've met your parents.
Yeah, no, I came from a house where my parents are just like, your friends are our friends, invite them over,
Yeah.
have people over for Thanksgiving, and it's such a better way and a richer way to live.
That's so nice.
And
Not how I was raised.
Yeah, but you-
keep everyone away.
I think
But
that's
you
what you guys
Nobody must know that the maiden name of your mother is Bean Blossom.
It's true.
Yeah.
His mother's
I think
name
that's
is
why you
Bean
guys
Blossom.
kind of work.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
yeah.
but you see the value in it now.
I do see the value in it. It's just something that doesn't come naturally to me. It's
Yeah.
it's not my first thought.
Well, every extrovert needs an introvert. Like
Yeah.
my wife is the introvert, and I'm the extrovert, and
Yeah,
that's
that
why
makes
it works.
sense.
Like,
And
is your girlfriend is Natalie the introvert?
Yeah, she actually kind of is. She's way more introverted than I am, but she's also happy to spend time with people, and I think she really enjoys, like specifically becoming friends with Brad. Honestly, that's a big thing.
You
They have
need
a lot in
someone to
common.
pull you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's very much a loner, but she's
I got
she's
to
so
meet-
she's so sweet
And
that
I
it
met
doesn't
her.
even make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
She was so. I think I talked to
Yeah.
her for like 20 minutes before. I'm like, oh, by the way, I know you're Chuck's girlfriend, but she was just super fucking cool.
She's the nicest.
It was at your
She's
birthday at the Stingy Alley. This like 6 months ago, maybe.
Very, very
Actually,
lucky
was
to
it
have
August?
Natalie.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
like I think it was last month we met.
It was last month. Yeah, she's the best.
So it was cool. And then like from that, we always just whenever we would do podcast, anything like we just everyone would just kind of include each other.
I think it's the way to
everything.
go. Like if you look at the backlog of
fun.
the Chuck and Brad podcast, there's 550 something episodes. I can't imagine how many Rhode Island creative people are on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's
And
got
some
to be
people-
it's got to be 100.
easy.
Yeah.
And so many people would go on to do really cool things.
Oh, for sure.
I remember we had Joe List on, and I was like, oh my god. And
Yeah.
then you started working with it.
Yeah. It's funny
such
because
a-
Mark's the one that brought me in.
It's so
not
it's
Joe.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's such a white woman thing to say, like you were manifesting, but like in a way you were.
I think it's just
Yeah,
pushing. and,
Chuck's vision board was just pictures
Yeah.
of Mark Normand and Joe List.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I think
the
there's
word
something to
jizz
that.
and queef.
Yes.
And I've gotten and there's people that like I would have seen perform. Like we for Hey Rhody, we did the Oscars party through Rhode Island International Film Festival. We worked the red carpet. My co-host Jenna, and like Doug Key was like one of the
Doug
people came
Key,
in.
yeah.
So I was like immediately like, oh, mutual friend. We were at the same table, and we just had him on Hey Rhody podcast. But like I've met so many people just even tangentially of being like, oh hey, we both know Chuck and Brad, and then they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
It's also nice when you go to an event you don't know anyone, and be like, we know the same person.
Yes. I also love Chuck and Brad as a thing. It's like
as
hilarious.
a thing. It's a
You guys are like a duo.
Lord of the Flies,
sure.
Sam Nerick
I always
situation.
got jealous because
It's a weird reference, but if you got it,
It's like Curly and Shemp.
I love that.
yes.
I'm Curly.
I always admired
Fuck you.
admired you guys because like I had started my old podcast in 2013. I had a co-host for like 20 episodes, and then he quit. And I think I was so hurt by that, I never decided to work with anyone creatively ever again until like maybe a couple of years ago.
I think that's one of the reasons me and Brad work so well together is that we're both super dedicated and we don't want to flake. We hate being people who are like, we're going to do this and don't do it.
Yeah.
So we'll be like right now a bomb could drop on this and we'll be like, where are we recording next time? That's
Yeah.
the first thing we'd have. You know what I
And
mean?
you guys are friends outside of this too.
Dude, yeah. Yesterday we came here to the Comedy Connection and this will have come out already. And we didn't know how to get in because Ray's the person who had the code for the door, and we didn't have it because we're transitioning over from Ray being on the podcast to just Brad and I, and we couldn't get in touch with anyone. And so we're like, what do we do? And I'm like, you want to podcast outside? And Brad's like, that's funny. And so we just podcasted outside on the
Respect
bench.
that. No guests, just the two of you.
Yep.
See, that's commit. Most people would just quit.
Most people would be like, fucking Christ. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go home.
I'll also say that's what I was like inside, but I can't be the one to suggest we go home.
Yeah.
No, I'm the
You know,
way.
Chuck's here from Staten Island. We have a limited time to record.
Yeah.
I'm not at a happy point in my life right now as of the time of the recording. Who knows what could change by the time this comes out.
Yep.
But I was like, no, like you have to, we were talking about the idea of asking like how to move up and get more opportunities. It's like, all right, well, have integrity, like be reliable and be
Yeah.
kind. And that's going to get you further
Oh my God.
than a cool reel or a great resume.
I've even now seen this on firsthand within like working inside within media. Just being the person who responds to the email.
Yeah.
I've seen so many
Yes.
people who should not get coverage, very deservingly so, because they just don't pick up the phone or respond to something. And then you see
Yeah.
the like, well, we're on a deadline and you have, and they were reliable. And then that's
Yeah.
why they get the write up. And then you go, why didn't we get that? Like 50% of it is just making it super easy for the other people.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really just be like, it's that easy. Like, sometimes it's just that simple.
Yeah. And my rules are have integrity.
Yes.
Be reliable.
Yep.
Be kind. Have a cool reel and resume.
Yeah.
So it is.
It's true.
It really
is.
both of those things.
I don't have anything on my reel because everything I do is improvised.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
It's funny the opportunity stuff like, and like when I started starting like at the very bottom. The very first guest I interviewed for my podcast was my father-in-law.
I love that.
Like that's how I
adorable.
started.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I
we had my grandparents on
Yep.
to talk
That's
about
adorable.
Christmas in the 1920s and 30s
That's so
for a Christmas
sweet.
episode, and people loved it, which is cool. Maybe we'll put it up this year
you
as like a
should.
little
That's
tribute to my
really
nana.
sweet.
Yeah, she passed away this summer, so
Oh, I'm so sorry, but yeah, and then stuff like that, right? Like the Matthew Stewart episode I was talking about. In the moment, it's like, oh, this is cool, a podcast. Then something happens. So like when Matt passed away, that episode became like the anchor for the Streetlight community. I reached out to his family and the band, and like I gave him the Ed and Reese episode because like when you lose somebody, it's the voice is the thing you miss the most. But now you have an hour-long recording with your grandma, which you would never had in any other way. And there's probably
exactly that's part of the reason we did it. Obviously, we didn't say that to them.
yeah, but how else do you get your grandparents to be like, will you sit and talk to me for an hour recorded? Like, it just doesn't happen. So, like, yeah, the stuff like that ends up becoming, like, really... Like, I have one with my parents, which is really... I did on my 30th
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
You know, they're still with us, but one day they won't be. And I know
Right.
that's going to be the first thing I do is go back and, like,
Of course, dude.
listen to it. Yeah,
Of course,
it's,
man.
It's cool, all that stuff. Like, it means something.
I absolutely agree with it, man. And I love you, buddy. I'm glad you came on. I appreciate
I
it.
know, this is super fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it's fun going back through memory lane because like it feels like it was all yesterday, and
Oh,
they
for
throw
sure.
a pandemic in the mix for all of
Oh
it.
yeah.
'Cause I remember you and I would always talk
Time
because
lost its
we were
meaning.
working like normal people jobs
Yes.
while doing this creative stuff. And I remember you left your job first,
I sure did.
and I was like, "Wow!"
One day
you
I'll
can
find another
do
one.
that,
Yep.
which is wild.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
know.
such a wild thing.
It is.
But yeah, anyone just fucking do the damn thing.
Yep.
And like I always when a quote I used to have from someone I knew from years ago would always say, "Was it shoot for the stars, land on the moon?"
Yeah.
Because nobody makes it as a podcast host. Like even Joe Rogan, that's not his main source of income.
Yeah.
So like do the thing and just like other opportunities will come your way and in ways you'll never expect.
Yeah.
We can only hope, man.
Bird by
I
bird.
left a healthcare career. I worked at Butler Hospital, which anyone doesn't know, it's a psychiatric hospital. I was there all through the pandemic. I was 38 years old with a house and a child. And because of the podcast, was able to like leave that job and then find a career where I am now, where I
Right.
make more money and happy.
Yep.
That's great, man. I
World
love
of
that.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
wild.
So check out the Hey Roadie podcast. You'll get some insight into the Rhode Island creative scene, which is the basis of where Brad and I came from, and the basis, it's where we still exist, and we still have a lot of people that we love and support and try to bring in.
Revel has other things he
I
wants
got a
to
couple
plug.
things to plug. And
Plug
you
it,
guys
buddy.
are actually a part of both of them, which is a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. The very first, I would say, I got to shout Raz Cunningham and Aiden from Little Fire. They were the first ones to actually hire me and then actually pay me, because I've gotten some jobs where I got screwed over the years. I'm sure we've all been there. So we got to produce a podcast called The Ferry, which is actually, when this is coming out, will probably be it's a 10. Yeah, I'll just read you the tagline.
Please.
So it's a 10-episode fictional audio mystery from Tongala and produced by Little Fire. So 62 people board the Shenandoah Ferry. Only one returns. The story is told to recover recordings, witnesses' accounts, and the last broadcast of a small-town rodeo host. The Ferry is a supernatural mystery, part sci-fi, audio thriller, and 100% making your second guess. It's like 100% making you second guess the water. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts, on Tongala's YouTube. Brad's one of our voices on this.
It's true.
It was he's a voice actor on that.
That's great.
I'll say, so years ago when Senior Discount did their Christmas medley, I came in to do a little speak singing.
Yes.
And I was so confident that I was going to come in and nail it in one take, and I did not.
Yeah.
It was very frustrating. When I went in to do my voice acting for The Ferry, I'm like, I got this. I know my lines. I know how I'm going to say them. And it was like, could you do it again? Could you do it again? And I was, same thing where
That's fine.
it's part of growing and learning and
Yeah.
everything, and really, but such the similar attitude walking in. But I think I was more accepting of the notes the second time.
But I remember they weren't having you do it because you were bad. It was just it's paranoia that doesn't get recorded right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's just like, just give us 7 different takes in case there's like a event going off or something stupid.
Yeah.
That was the fun. We got to record at Distorted Studios up in, I think, Lincoln. I don't know.
Yeah, it was up there
What
somewhere.
town somewhere, but it was an old barn converted for a studio, which is super fun. So I'm really excited at that. Age of Audio, the documentary that Chuck and I, we kind of, with our buddy Sean, which is now doing the film circuit. Now I left Let's Chat behind to take over the Hey Rhody podcast, which is super fun, which you were on it before I hosted it years ago.
Yes, that's
with
right.
Nick and Sasha, but I took it over from them.
Sasha's cool. Nick is cool too.
Yeah. Sasha left to go start Honey Bun Social with Laura from Buns and Bites.
Buns and Bites.
And Nick still runs the shit.
It's an Instagram in Rhode Island about great food that's around Rhode Island, and also
Easy on the eyes.
nice big butts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brad.
Say that.
Shit. Well, I'm not going to say shit on these butts because that's pretty weird.
I would never.
No, any of your
Think of butts minus the shitting.
and it's super stoked. And then also, like, if any print and digital ad needs for the Rhode Island area, I'm your guy.
Yep.
And I'm super happy I just got involved with a thing called The Search, which is like Star Search or American Idol for Rhode Island. They're looking for the talent within Rhode Island, and I'm one of the hosts that does. We like to joke. My buddy J Mac and I like to say that you can't get Ryan Seacrest, so you get us.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
we're
that's
doing
good.
a bunch of the hosting stuff for it. We just did some on Saturday. We're doing some again in November.
Nice.
So that's really fun. So yeah, check that all out. And Instagram at Let's Chat Revel.
Let's do it. That's great.
great.
I'm glad you came on, man. We've been planning this for a long time. I'm glad you're here. This was a great talk. Went in a lot of directions I didn't expect, but
Yep.
really fun ones.
Yeah, it was good
Should we say
stuff.
some bad things to even it out?
Yeah, I think so.
All the bad things about me are being said in my own head
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
People have
Yeah.
been mean enough to you on Reddit, so I think we're
I think
okay.
so. I think
and
so,
Facebook
too.
groups.
All
I've
right,
seen.
so I guess we just have to say mean things about Revel.
yeah.
Do we start?
Where do we start?
I got a long list.
I take out a C scroll.
Rolls out the door.
But I have to shout out your Funbearable too, though.
Yeah.
You guys have the coolest audience. You have the
We really
best
do.
fan
We
base.
really do.
Yes,
The
we
people
do.
are really committed, and like I've gotten to chat with a few of them offhand, like in person, online, and I'm just always like, I don't know how you guys do it. But you got a really good crew out
They're
there.
the best, man.
They really are.
We really appreciate them. The memes, the discussion, like the way they glom onto stuff.
The hot dog thing, like I
It's
can't look at a hot
crazy.
dog without thinking of Brad now.
I know. No one can. Whoever
you.
knew you would become this hot dog mascot,
Dude,
man.
I love it.
It's your pink skin and your smooth head.
I suspected this is how my life would turn out.
I think if I cracked Brad in half, there'd be a real snap to
Yep.
him. yeah.
I thank you so much. This is so fun.
Well,
it's
folks
great.
out there, if you have questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, if you want to share a story about the music or comedy scenes where you are or where you were
Yes.
growing up, we'd love to hear them. Send us an email, funbearablepod@gmail.com, or find us on socials at funbearablepod.
Yeah, if you want to talk about any creativity that was local to you, that inspired you, or that you love, I'd love to hear about that stuff.
Absolutely.
It's the best, man.
Thank you very much for being here, Chris Revill. We appreciate it so much. For Chuck Staten, I'm Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being funbearable.
The special kid, out.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Ugh.
Man, Brad Rohr and the Special Kid. Now that's a comic book I would read.
Yeah, do that.